In this video, I'm going to talk about the real estate investment options that are available to you. I'm going to speak about some of the benefits, also some points that you want to consider when making a real estate investment. But before I do that, if this video resonates with you, do me a favor, share it with a friend, colleague, or neighbor. The first property I want to speak about is an income property. Essentially, an income property is a property with more than two doors. So in this asset class, we're looking at duplexes, triplexes, multiplexes. Some of the benefits when you're investing into an income property are the fact that you have more than one tenant. And so if one tenant leaves, say, the basement, you still have the upstairs rented. Or in a multiplex, if it's a 5-unit property and one tenant leaves, you still have 4 tenants in the property. It's more scalable. There's only one roof and one set of windows, one furnace to deal with. Some of the benefits that you want to consider, though, is that it's more hands-on. You need to manage those tenants. You also need to make sure you keep a bigger reserve fund in case something goes wrong with the roof, windows, or furnace. Typical cost of entry in Ontario is approximately $180,000 to get into an income property. The next type of property I want to speak about is student housing. Essentially, you're investing and locating a property close to a major university or college. One of the major benefits is that it's probably the most recession-proof investment that you can make in real estate because parents are always sending their kids to school. You also have guaranteed leases backed by the parents of these students. It's always close to a university or school, which makes it an amazing investment because it's AAA location. Now, there's some things that you want to consider when investing into a student housing property. Number one being is that there's students, and so sometimes things happen to these properties. There's a lot of maintenance involved. A lot of maintenance involved also with the fact that you need to continuously find students to rent out the property. So you have a high turnover rate when it comes to student housing investment. The approximate cost of entry in Ontario is in and around $100,000, including all your closing costs. The next type of investment option available to you is investing into land development deals partnered, when done right, with some of the top developers in the country. It's one of the passive investments that you can make in real estate because there's nothing to manage. You're partnering with a developer and investing cash or one of your registered funds. It's the only investment in Canada that allows you to use your RRSPs to invest into real estate. Now, the returns can be anywhere from 15 to 30% annually, compounding. Now, one of the things that you want to consider when investing into a land development deal is that it can get extended. So if your term at the start was a 4 to 5 year term, be prepared for that to be extended by a year or two. Why? Because zoning, bylaws, permits, all of that dealing with the city generally takes a little bit longer than initially considered by the developer. So when you're looking at a land development deal, make sure you're partnering with one of the top firms and or top developers in the country. And the last type of property and option available to you when investing into real estate is the new build condo or home strategy. There's a couple of benefits that I always want to talk about when it comes to this type of strategy. Number one being that your down payment as an investor, which is 20% here in Ontario, is actually paid out over time. You have an extended deposit structure, which allows you to put, for example, 5% in 30 days, 5% in 9 months, 5% in a year and a half, and then 5% when the building actually gets built, which is anywhere from 3 to 4 years from the date of purchase. You also don't need to actually get a mortgage until the building gets built. Now, there is a qualification process that you always want to be aware of, but it really truly is just a formality for the builder to get their financing from their lender to help with the construction of the building. Now, what you want to make sure that you're aware of when you're investing into a new build is understanding is once you pass the 10-day due diligence period, the 10-day cooling off period here in Ontario, you're tied up until the building gets built. You can use what's called the assignment clause to get out of this investment, but that doesn't happen till about 2 to 2.5 years from the date of purchase. So you need to understand that once you put down that 5%, that initial 5%, and you passed the 10-day cooling period, you're now tied to this contract. So your funds are not liquid anymore. So that's something that you definitely want to be aware of when you're investing into a new build home or condo. Now that you know all your real estate options available to you, I want to make sure you get a copy of my book, Real Estate Intelligence. All you got to do, and there's no cost for it, is go to jastakhar.ca/book. That's jastakhar.ca/book, and make sure you let me know in the comments what you think about this video and what you thought about the book. You made it this far, and I appreciate it. Thank you. I want to make sure that you get more value from my page. Click on the next video and share it with a friend and leave me a comment. All your feedback is greatly appreciated.